Hey, it's Tpok. I'm back in Symphonic Rain, and I notice I've been getting a couple more views on this series, probably just when I started Fall's Path, so I guess I made a good decision choosing Fall, so. Hey, where are you? Hey, are you going somewhere? Actually, why didn't she say that? Yeah, it's about dinner time, right? That's the plan. I've been kinda restless ever since that promise I made with Fall yesterday. I had helped this person, who might eventually become my partner, with her work. In return, I was being treated to a meal. That was all there was to it, I thought. But there might have been something with my body language, as Forney seemed to have seen through my plans. I'd been reading books, playing random tunes, and poking around with half-finished compositions I didn't plan on reciting. I always spent my Saturday like that, as I had nothing to do but wait for Ari's letter to arrive. Tora sometimes invited me over to her house for dinner, but those were extremely rare occurrences. I'm surprised you figured that out. Is that what happens when you live together with someone for over 2 years? No, I'm going to Fall's place where... Just be quiet for a moment. I have 2 things to say. 1, could you maybe hear me out when I'm in the middle of explaining something? How on earth are you supposed to tell Ari? This is why mysterious creatures are a pain. Okay then, I'll ask just in case. Can you really do that? How? With a strangely confident smile, she grasped the pen on the desk with her whole body. Okay then. Well, and now? As luck would have it, there was a blank sheet of paper on the desk. It was the sheet of paper I was planning to use for the letter tomorrow. What are you going to write? I see. I chimed in, feeling rather indifferent about the matter. It was still only 6:30. It wasn't that far to Fall's place, so I had enough time to watch her until she was done. Am I gonna see it? After taking almost a whole minute, the word she'd drawn up was... Mamone. What does that mean? Forney? I have 3 things to say. 1, your writing sucks. 2, you take too much time. Even if you do it in the middle of the night, you'd make so much noise I'm going to notice. 3, the envelope will be shut. 4, I understand you wanted to make a fool out of me, but what is writing on that letter to Ari going to accomplish? Oh, whatever. Lastly, thanks for the entertaining show. It became quite clear to me that you can't do it. You have no reason to in the first place. The first thing I told you. Listen until I finish explaining. Did you already forget? The place Fall works is close by here. A trattoria called Copert. Just by adding that sentence, everything should have been clear. Is Forney really so short-tempered, or does she just not use her head enough? That's what I meant. It seemed Forney had somewhat fallen into a slump, so I added in a cheerful tone. Well, part of the reason she's treating me is because I helped her with some work yesterday, so your suspicions weren't necessarily unfounded.
そうよね。悪いのはクリスだもんね。
Nah, to give my best compromise, I'm willing to concede that neither of us were in the wrong.
そっか。わかった。
It looked like Phony was finally satisfied. Not really, she looks kind of depressed. Shooting a glance at my watch, I noticed it was almost time to go. Well, I'm off.
いってらっしゃい。
I crossed the streets of the rainy city in a modest dash, and soon arrived at my destination. After having been led to my seat like any other customer, I didn't really know what else to do. Should I just order something I'd like to eat? I stared at the menu handed to me in confusion. I heard a familiar voice coming from what seemed to be the kitchen.
その人です。
It seemed the waiter who had come to take my order recognized the voice immediately.
ご注文はすでに承っています。では、失礼します。
Leaving a polite salutation and a casual smile, the waiter disappeared to the back. In any case, it seemed Fall knew I was here, and my order had already been arranged. I wouldn't have to worry about that anymore. Slightly relieved, I scanned the interior of the establishment. As expected from a trattoria serving family-oriented cuisine, it had a very down-to-earth ambiance. The interior was neat and stylish, and the establishment looked to be popular amongst youngsters as well. Not unexpectedly, I saw a few familiar faces from school at one of the tables. My eyes darting around, I brought my glass of water to my mouth, soothing the slight tension I felt.
お待たせしました。
After a short while, the waiter came in carrying my meal on a platter. There was a steaming dish of neatly served lasagna on top of the silver plate.
こんばんは。時間通りね。
I thought I was a little late, but I guess not.
驚くほどぴったりだったよ。
Anyway, were you able to get a break?
うん。店長にこの時間に休憩させてもらえるように。
She was carrying a clean white apron under her arm, which I figured she had just stripped out of. She sat down in the seat across the table. Isn't this a busy time for the store? Almost all the seats are taken. It seemed luck was on my side since a great number of customers had entered after my arrival. A number of people were forced to wait on seats outside the roof storefront.
その分の仕事はもうやっちゃったから。それよりもほら、冷めちゃうと美味しくないよ。
She handed me a knife and fork, and then fixed her eyes on me with a smile on her face. Are you going to keep watching?
どうぞ、気にしないで。
Easy for you to say.
それなら、隣に移動しようか。
No sooner said than done, she transferred to the seat next to me. So you're insisting on watching me?
そうしないと、4人掛けの席から追い出されちゃうよ。
Oh, I wouldn't mind.
せっかく休憩取ったのに、それじゃあ暇になっちゃうでしょ。
Right, that would be bad.
まあ、悪くはないんだけどね。さあ、本当に冷めるよ。
Trying my best not to mind the eyes on me, I cut a piece of lasagna with my knife and brought it to my mouth. Delicious.
でしょ？ほとんど私が作ったんだよ。
Oh no.
もう2年も経つから、さすがに上手になっちゃった。
Okay, I missed that. Did you cook a lot before you started working here? To make sure I didn't get burned by the hot cheese, I carefully blew on it before eating, all the while continuing the conversation.
もちろん作ってたよ。だから料理はかなり得意な方。
I see. But this is really delicious. The lasagna I had at some other place once tasted like rubber.
それは偽物ね。ここは値段も安くて それほど大きくもないお店だけど、店長のこだわりでいい加減なものは作らないの。
You seem happy when talking about it. Do you like cooking?
もちろん。
You really can do anything, can't you? Whenever I look at you, I lose all confidence in myself.
自信？
Well, I just thought that compared to you, I really can't do anything.
そんなことないって。好きなことをやってるだけだから。頼まれごとも料理も、もちろん歌もね。
She spoke in a happy, almost lyrical tone. It didn't seem like she was just being humble. It appeared that those were her genuine feelings. Oh, is she gone already? Nope. Thanks for the meal.
はい。美味しかった？
Of course. I might come again if I have the opportunity.
今度は普通のお客さんとして？
Of course. Anyway, do I really not need to pay today?
本当に。お礼だって言ったでしょ？でも、それで次から常連さんになってくれるんなら、お店から出してもらってもいいかな？
In that case, I would have to keep coming here.
お店の宣伝じゃないけど、たまには食べに来てね。
If the opportunity arises, gladly.
あと、そろそろ時間かな。
When does your break end?
30分だけ。これから2時間半、お仕事か。
Having a rough time?
でも、ちょっとだけ残念。
About what?
休憩が終わっちゃうのが。
She stood up and picked up the apron she had left on the chair.
お店の人には話してあるから、そのまま出ちゃっていいからね。
Okay, thanks for the meal.
じゃあ、
Oops. She might have been more in a rush than I thought, as she hurried away while slipping her arm through the sleeve, disappearing into the kitchen without looking back. As for the food, I thought it was delicious, so I would probably visit again in the future. Although I didn't have qualms about cooking dinner for myself, it might be nice to eat out every so often. It was delicious.
ありがとうございました。
That was very kawaii. I greeted the shop assistant standing behind the cash count register and exited the premises.
あ、おかえり。どうだった？
Forney was singing by herself in the same spot she had been when I left the house. Noticing my arrival, she stopped instantly and turned my way. I'm home.
で、どうだった？
Oh, it was pretty tasty.
へえ、よかったね。
Something wrong?
女の子と一緒に美味しいもの食べちゃってさ。
Didn't I explain that earlier?
あれからちょっと考えてみたんだけど、バイトしてるってことは、春の手料理を食べたってことだよね。
There are no guarantees about that, but in today's case, you're right.
ああ、もう、女の子の手料理が食べたいなら、トルタのところにでも行けばいいのに。
Can't just decide that by myself? Besides, tortoise cooking is, well, you know.